Welcome back to the LCS Countdown, just about 10 minutes away from that first game of the day. Yesterday, we saw 3 separate player of the game performances on a certain mage. So I want to ask, what the Lux?
Specifically, support Lux. I'm going to move right past that horrible pun and talk about the shield. The W is the main reason I think you're seeing it. I would say it's the strongest shield in the entire game because it's a 150 rank 1 shield. And you can hit multiple people with it. It has a 0.6 AP ratio if you're adding the first part and the second part. And when there was that big shield change to all those shielding supports, they killed how long their durations were. Hers lasts 3 seconds and it refreshes on the incoming part. So for a champion like Lux, who throws that, has to wait the entire time for it to come back, it's effectively a 6-second shield that you get. So it's very effective throwing out during combat, even if you don't take damage instantly the way Lulu and Janna and all these other champions had their shields hurt.
Yeah, so high base values as well as a longer duration than most makes her shield very powerful. You also saw there at the end of the clip the usefulness of her Q, that binding, which can not only hit 1 but 2 people and is a 1-point wonder.
Yeah, exactly. You only have to put 1 point into the Q. It's an extremely long route. The downside is it is fairly slow, but when people are engaging or it's somewhat telegraphed, if you can get picks out of fog or even have it as follow-up to another sort of CC, if there's some sort of engage, it can be incredibly powerful. And I think one of the things that also makes Lux so strong is it's not only just the shielding, it's how easily she's able to actually poke with her E to charge up Athenes, which is pretty much what everyone is rushing these days. And the added boost of healing that comes out on that first shield through can be enormous. I mean, we saw this yesterday, actually, with Core JJ saving Jensen. You know, he had a fully charged Athenes, lands Redemption. It goes from, like, nothing to full health.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty gross on top of the fact that Aftershock works well with her for landing those bindings. So when normally you're against this kind of pokey, shieldy Enchantress, you're like, well, all in her. And it's like, well, she has the best shield in the game. She procs Aftershock very easily. She does a lot of damage back. So your all-ins quickly get turned around like we saw in that replay. And on top of the fact that because it's 2 seconds rank 1, a lot of the times you don't need to put extra points into it like Morgana, who she's often compared to. Yeah, you have to put 5 points in to get that ridiculously long route where you just take this 1 and then you can max W in difficult lane matchups or E in the easy ones where you want pressure. So she has so much flexibility in her kit.
Yeah, I mean, even we've seen people say, okay, well, we can't all in her. Let's try to draft a poke lane. TL did this, actually. I believe it was actually against CLG, perhaps.
Yeah.
You know, and we just saw then the Lux just goes Guardian, right? Like, you can do this where then you just say, okay, well, you're not going to all in me. Then I'll take essentially this additional shield to help absorb your poke. And Lux just feels very well-rounded.
Yeah, very strong champion. You already mentioned we've seen her in support and in mid, so a flex pick on top of all of that. We do know that in the upcoming patches, other enchanters like Karma, for example, might be making their way into the meta, but it'll be very interesting to see how she, specifically Lux, kind of warps champion select around the bot lane. Since it is Father's Day, the players shared some kind words for their dads, and our cameras just happened to be there to catch it. Take a look.
Hey Dad, aka Craig DeMonte. I just want to say thank you and that I love you so much for supporting me in my career and letting me play video games all day long in high school.
Hey Ivan, happy Father's Day. Thanks for everything you've taught me so far, and I think you've been a great influence on my life.
Hey Dad, thanks for always supporting me. Thanks for always watching my games and supporting my growth throughout my entire career of being a professional player and moving away from home. And yeah, tack pa.
Hey Dad, happy Father's Day. I appreciate everything you've done for me and our family. So I wish you all the best and thank you.
First of all, happy Father's Day. I wanted to say that. I know you're probably watching my games, and since you play a lot of Sona, it's perfect for us to maybe play a dual game of Solitaire together.
Hey Dad, I know you're watching this, and I hope you enjoy my game. Happy Father's Day.
Hey Dad, I know I wasn't the greatest kid before. I was failing school, I was doing poorly about my life, I was about to be evicted, but here I am, making us money. I just want you to know to check your bank account on Father's Day because there'll be something good. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Hey Dad, happy Father's Day. I can't wait for you to come to support me at Willis in Europe when I'll be in the finals.
이렇게 메시지 보내는 건 처음인데 뭔가 어색하네요. 그래도 아빠가 여태까지 저를 잘 키워주시고 앞으로도 잘 해주실 걸 알기 때문에 저도 열심히 잘할게요. 사랑해요.
Hey Dad, I just want to say thanks for always supporting me and everything that I've done. And I hope you have a happy Father's Day.
Hey Dad, I know I haven't been around for the past few years, and it's hard to reason for this kind of crazy esports career that I'm on right now, but thank you for always having my back. And I know that you've tried so hard throughout my entire life to try and be a loving father. So happy Father's Day. You deserve a super awesome gift for today. So love you so much.
Okay, so I've been telling my dad to get a health checkup for probably the past year and a half because he's over 50 now and has been for like a few years, and he keeps not going to get his health checkup. He always says he's busy because of work and things like that.
Hey Dad, thanks for coming to my games all the time and supporting me. Happy Father's Day.
Hey Dad, thanks for always supporting me and thanks for watching all my games. I think you're my biggest fan out there, so I really appreciate you and happy Father's Day.
And yeah, it's just a good idea to keep a checkup on your health, Dad. So please go get it done. I'm shaming you on the LCS broadcast. Thanks, love you.
Since it is Father's Day, we're going to once again put our dad's prediction power to the test with predictions for our 5 games today. First up, though, put some faces to the fathers of our different analysts and, I guess, host here on the show today. And then we'll swap it right over to see who they're picking to win our matches today. The OpTic faith coming out of Crumbs and Azale's dad.
Did my dad not predict the last one?
No, he just is big
the
fan
LCS.
of LCS.
Everyone
We're
wins.
all winners.
Everyone wins in Game 5.
So
because
Canadian.
It's been a great day of
that's
games.
true. So he's already got one right.
He did also have the TSM prediction over C9 in that Game 3, as compared to everyone else picking C9. A couple more TL fans here, and 100 Thieves being called out for their first win of the split. Is that crazy?
Yep.
I think that might be crazy.
I know Flower's mom is a huge 100 Thieves fan. I guess his dad is too.
I guess so. It runs in the family. All right, well, those are the dad's predictions. Let's see how they compare to yours. Crumbs still has this
I was about to say,
OpTic faith.
Yeah.
Which his father does align with.
Okay.
I feel like because he bought the stock, he's just doubling and tripling down on the OpTic stock and not really willing to, bet against them.
Yeah. I know that the one difference here that I'm seeing between Mark and I, at least, is the CLG Golden Guardians, and I was kind of surprised that Mark is going there as well.
I thought you were going to not pick FlyQuest when we were talking about, like, oh, we think we have a difference or two. I thought for sure it was the 4th game.
No.
You don't trust FlyQuest at all.
No, I don't. I think FlyQuest has not been doing
struggling.
very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I did just receive a word that the reasoning on Game 5 from your father is that the power goes out midway through the game.
Oh,
so
see, there you go.
There is no winner. If he gets that right, I think we call it there. He wins for the whole season.
Well, I've got to
Security, be on lookout for that guy that Azale's dad. He's just like, pull out.
Man the switch box. Yeah, make sure that nobody's
I've got to give him credit, though. That's a bold prediction. I thought it was
a
bold
bold
with the CLG win. His prediction is much more bold.
It wasn't that he didn't do his homework. He actually did extra credit in a way. But yeah, let's look at that 5th game of the day, CLG versus Golden Guardians. Mark Z, Golden Guardians have obviously impressed throughout the first few weeks of the split, and you continue, or rather expect them to continue to show that dominance?
I think so. This was actually a really close one for me, too. I think both these teams have a style that is relatively similar. 2 great control mage players for the most part in the mid lane, and they want to scale into late game. 2 top laners who want kind of lane dominant champions to duke it out. And then bot lanes, this is where they differ for me, is this bot lane of Deathly and Ole is a lot more defensive, whereas I like when Stixxay and Biofrost are in control of the lane with the more aggressive picks like the Lux and Caitlyn. And so I think that's where they're going to run some trouble, exploiting Deathly and Ole.
Yeah, that's why I went with CLG. I think in all 3 of the wins for CLG, their bot lane has been critical. We had the Yuumi Sivir game, we had the Lux Caitlyn game, Zyra Khan yesterday, and I think that we have figured out you have to ban Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench should not be played by Ole, and you can get major advantages there. I think CLG is the team that can close it out.
Golden Guardians squeaked by through that Tahm Kench ban just yesterday, still snagged the win. We'll see if CLG, though, has the answer this time around. With that, we got to get out to OpTic versus TL. So, gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you very much, Dash. Welcome to the battle arena. I am Freak. To my right is Kobe, and we have OpTic versus Team Liquid on the docket.
Yes, sir. And Dokla stretching out, getting ready for another possible Poppy ban. He flexes muscles yesterday on the gangplank, but OpTic just could not bring it together. And that's a kind of troubling because that was the pattern people were looking for opposing teams to break.
Yeah.
And might have laid the pathway for all future opponents.
Yeah, I am always curious if teams will have things like backup tanks if the Poppy gets banned. Does he play a Maokai or a Signer, etc., or does he really go back to the carries that he had been playing before? Yes, most teams are playing carries, but as we saw, the Gangplank got camped, and C9 had a road to victory through attacking Dokla, and then later in the game, attacking Crown, and using their mid laner to pry open the side lanes. This time around, we're going to see what these teams have for us. Team Liquid won yesterday through their bottom lane, and as we get into picks and bans, we will see what strategies teams have for us. OpTic tied for first, Team Liquid just a game behind.
Aha! Lux actually getting banned before Yuumi even now. There's so many supports and bottom laners. Their premier bans at the moment. The Lux, the Yuumi, also the Sona Taric has to be broken up. So it feels like half of Champ Select is taken up by perma bot lane focused bans at the moment.
Well, you talk about perma bot lane bans. Team Liquid have banned Yuumi in 100% of their games. Corey does not play, and they are afraid of it. On both sides, though, they are personally always removing it. They are clearly not willing to put it into their drafts, whether they're blue or red side. So that's just sort of the game state that they are in as OpTic now drop Rise off.
Yeah, I am always reluctant to make the jump. Yes, they don't want to.
They can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they do ban it on first side, and they don't want to first pick it. We'll see here what they fall out with. Rise, as you know, on live, it got a little bit of a rework. One of his many, but currently still on 9-11. Yep. Also extremely powerful. Right up there with the Sylas and the Aatrox, and Aatrox soon to follow. So I'm guessing Sylas does get taken off, and they don't want to let it through as the possible trade-off for first pick for OpTic. So I think that will be Team Liquid's ban. So I wonder what OpTics will be going into it. Maybe the Aurelia? There's the Sona.
Okay, there's the Sona off the dock. Yeah, OpTic actually 3-1 on red side. In every one of those games, they're banning Sylas, and then blue, they're hoping to first pick it, I think. We'll see what Team Liquid wants to leave up into this one. And we will wait to see. And it is going to be that Sylas. Yeah, that is the only champion at 100% presence across the summer split so far in the top 5 regions. I love that Doklas shouts out Alarim with the quick Wukong hover. We'll see what he actually wants to go for, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the Kali and the Aurelia are ones that people immediately jump to. However, are OpTic going to stick with their tank top strategy, right? And the more simplistic setup to the team fight? I think something that has been a big benefit of that style has been Arrow. Arrow from the bottom lane has been doing so much damage consistently in the team fights for the majority of their wins, at least. Yeah. It has a lot of Sivir games, which is extremely strong right now and benefits greatly from having, not only the jungle take in the Sejuani, but also something else for them to have on the front lines. We'll see if they follow this one up. Sejuani also works super well with Akali and Aurelia, if you get those melee assassins to stack up the stun. So those are also possibilities here.
A very strong dual lane comes through for Team Liquid. Xayah plus Rakan, a very, very great bottom lane as the Sona and Lux bans were aimed at them, but not though. So Corey on his actually signature pick, he's got his own skin. And yeah, Double going to be very good on Xayah here as well. His most played champion by far. Sivir is left up. That's an expected pickup here for Arrow. We'll see if that comes through.
Not only does he have the skin, but he has the signature on the loading screen for the champion as well.
Literally signatures.
Let's see. It's interesting because there are other pairings if they had wanted to go with the Caitlyn again and go, Morgana or something like that. Try and siege and push, chain bindings into traps as well as, rotate that powerhouse around for the outer turrets. But they're going once again for the Xayah Rakan. Already, Core JJ has, I believe, 3 Rakan games to his name. The first one was a little bit rocky, but followed it up with 2 very good ones.
Yeah.
The split-second initiations. I think Nautilus is pretty much the go-to answer to Rakan right now. It's just more tanky in lane. Has an easy time of trying to stop Rakan with the passive auto attacks. Plenty of CC in the kit to try and deal with that. And there's the Aurelia that we also talked about already, setting up. It's one of my favorite pairings with Sejuani. It's absolutely insane in 2v2s. Aurelia can start things out. Sejuani follows it up with so many stuns. You can 100% to 0 most champions at level 6. There's very few options for getting out of that stun lock with those 2 combining.
Yeah, there's 3 total stuns across those champions, and that gets pretty difficult to deal with. Trundle.
Knockup.
Yeah, also the knockup. So lots to do. Very difficult stuff. Trundle getting locked in here, which I think is actually very apt. Not only the champion getting a bit more popular overall, but he's against 2 Aftershock users here in the Nautilus and the Sejuani. Very easy ult targets to become invincible and absolutely evaporate those tanks once that keystone falls off.
And it's not just the plug-and-play counters to Sejuani. Xmithie has played this champion for years. I think he is the best Trundle that we have in the LCS. He always will hold the pillar until the right opportunity. Oftentimes, you can gank on Trundle by just running at someone on frozen ground, getting the flash, and then pillaring where they flash to try and get the follow-up there. Definitely one of the strategies he's gone for. Mid lane ban's getting focused pretty quick here, though, with the LeBlanc once again taken off.
And interesting to look at this draft right now because OpTic Gaming are very physical heavy. We could see Aurelia go top or mid. That's still kind of open-ended, so maybe it's a mage for Crown, but maybe it's a mage for Dokla. And Team Liquid say, okay, you know what? Maybe AP Nico is what they would use to round out this composition. Maybe this can help force the Aurelia top lane to make Crown play a mage.
I'm a fan of the Nico bans because it always tricks me with the minimap icon changing to somebody else. So I won't have to worry about that this time around. Akali's going to be the follow-up here for OpTic, though. Not going to let Jensen be one of on those assassins. Malzahar hover.
Yep.
Back to Malzahar, courtesy of Caps.
Wow.
Not going to be the case.
Now, Gangplank, I think, was one of Impact's better champions when you look back at the Midseason Invitational, though it was a champion we saw get broken down yesterday in OpTic's hands. But either way, that will be the half-blind pick right there. As we know, Aurelia can go to either lane, but that's almost certainly going to be Impact's, and we will get counterpick for Jets at the end of it all. Now, looking at this draft, OpTic must lock in their other half of their bottom lane and their last solo. And Ezreal, it's going to be a you don't need to help me too much champion, but I don't think Ezreal Nautilus can punish. I guess they can survive, but I feel like they're going to be under turret here against Double Lift and Core JJ.
Yeah, I definitely think early on, right? The hover over was the other option, right? There are two sides.
Aggro?
There are
Yeah.
two sides to the coin. Draven is the extreme aggro one that you're talking about, trying to go for the punish on Rakan, and that's where you utilize Nautilus's CC. You actually take the fight. You know, him popping Aftershock and Draven dealing large amounts of auto attack damage, but Ezreal is the safer route. It looks like OpTic opting for safety, and I think that's appropriate given that they have this Aurelia Sejuani combination. I always want to see Aurelia and Sejuani used early on in the game, so that means your jungle pressure is not always going to be around bottom. You might need a little bit of inherent safety in lane.
Sure, but we'll see if OpTic can actually do that. They've been kind of known for giving Dokla matchups that beg for ganks to win, and the ganks don't come. So I do want to see OpTic actually spend their time up there with Dokla, turn around the matchup of Aurelia versus Gangplank. Impact had the read that Aurelia was probably top lane, picked Gangplank in Aurelia champion, tends to be a pretty good matchup overall, and it's one that is, again, very volatile to ganks.
Yeah, and Impact, he's one of his best champions at absorbing pressure is Gangplank. He survives so many dives, so many 2v1s, even 3v1s at times. So it's kind of a test of both players' strengths here. We'll see, will the call from OpTic actually go up to try those dives on Impact? Many have tried, and most have failed.
Most have failed.
In trying to dive Impact and then Gangplank, and then Gangplank just has, you know, global ultimate, farms up with the extra money, and becomes a later game powerhouse with the barrel chains.
Now, one thing I am interested in seeing play out as well is how OpTic plays around mid lane with Crown on Azir. He has been their best player by far. They have played around him a lot, and his split pushing has been a lot of the reason they have won their games earlier. Azir, though, not typically a split pusher. Yeah, he's a little bit safe. Yeah, he can hit turrets, but it's not the same as Twisted Fate or an Akali or something like this, where you really make some headway in those side lanes. So if they can play a team fight mid and actually get the team fights happen, then great, but I want to see them be able to actually pilot that.
Yeah, Azir very much that scaling team fight AP champion from the back. Does provide huge threats. See if it's gonna come to fruition here, and if OpTic can get back on track. Currently standing at 4-1, tied in that four-way tie for first. At the top of the LCS. If they win this, they can reclaim the throne all by themselves.
OpTic had an undefeated start to the LCS. And they fought maybe the strongest team in the LCS right now in Cloud9 yesterday. Now they face the 3-time consecutive champions in Team Liquid. The hard part of the schedule is ahead of them. And this is where you really start to see, are OpTic actually good, or was it just strength of schedule? I think the quality of the games has been decent. I think they can win this one. On the other side, Team Liquid feel like they have shaped up as well. Their game yesterday was really convincing to me. And taking down OpTic means they inch closer and closer to that first place spot.
And it seems like the strengths in the early game for Team Liquid are located on the bottom half of the map. And the strengths for OpTic and the possible moves will be on the top half. So we'll see if it is a split map. or if you try and shore up your weaknesses rather than playing off your strengths. Personally, I'm much bigger fan of teams trying to play off their bigger strengths and having their weak sides just play as safe as possible and try and avoid giving up much. But sometimes people try and go for that defense and make sure it happens.
So some out-of-game details in case people care. OpTic Gaming, we're all running Gen G Summoner icons. Shout out to Crown and CoreJJ's old team when they load into the game. Core, meanwhile, not using his old skin. This is the Invictus Gaming Recon. So, you know, one of these teams has fond memories of their old squad.
I mean, that's like just upgrading to the new phone. You don't want the old model, right?
But I feel like it's like switching from Apple to Android, you know? Like you're going all the way across the aisle.
I'm going to go with Invictus Gaming as the Android version, so.
You know what? I don't know what that means, but sure, I'm on your side with this one, Kobe. As Jensen hits level 2, and do want to point out, he grabbed Orianna, which is, I think, actually, without looking, probably his most played champion in pro play all time.
It actually is the best guess for most mid laners that have played since Season 3. So if you played that long, Orianna has been one of the mid lane champions that has most often been in the meta. While not warping, she doesn't get a lot of bans usually. Hasn't always been, you know, OP, but has always been viable. So I agree with your guess.
But yeah, he chose Orianna as the sort of counterpick, you could say, to Azir, and it's definitely a good team fighter as well. Has very good setup for a Xayah and a Gangplank to just rip through the rest of the squad. As Crown is going to put that first aggressive ward down, and actually Smithy is going to miss that first trinket pull. Looks like he doesn't get any wards out of that one, has to walk out, pushed away with Meteos, but just fine to make that escape. As the junglers on both sides are distracted now and engaged in the bottom lane. Decent damage towards double lift. The knockup's not going to be finding much of anything. I think that was actually big landing a Q to interrupt CoreJJ's W.
Yeah, nice little shot there from Big. You can see the effectiveness of that aftershock too, taking effect. Meanwhile, lands another one.
Good damage on a Core. Of course, Big has learned the shield to keep him tankier in those all-ins. Not the slow just yet. He'll get that at level 3. And has put quite a lot of damage down as he now chugs through his potions.
Yeah, Arrow got a Fortitude potion there. You can see by the red glow. So with a little bit of extra damage, they do dish out the punishment in lane phase. Meanwhile, we had such an interesting little journey through the jungle here. Smithy was trying to camp that Scuttle Crab. Since Impact on the Gangplank was able to push up, he comes down, allows Smithy not only to get the Scuttle, but also invade for the Gromp and deny Meteos any more sources of experience.
This time Smithy is hatching a ward that Dokla put down. That could be...
Oh, they're going for it. 2v1.
Ooh, trying to bait it a little bit. Now coming forward. Not looking for the stun just yet. Smithy with the pillar available is going to be able to stop that one. Nice triple barrel chain. Impact gets some damage across.
Yeah, you have to be careful about even a couple seconds of 2v1 opportunity, even if your teammate is close by, can really mean the difference in those duels on the top side. So good little movement there, able to get it out in time. We don't quite see any blood drawn yet.
Taking stock of the rest of the lanes, we can see Big walking around, getting some water control. CoreJJ doing similar stuff and heading back to their own lanes. Bot lane pretty close in farm, but he leads the double lift. Jensen has been shoving in mid, but that farm's pretty close to equal. Top lane is very much impact advantage and up more CS than the wave has, I do believe. But now Meteos coming into the bottom side. Could be big damage towards double force to flash away, but now that was pretty well played overall. CoreJJ tanks a little bit, walks right back out. Good escape, one summoner down though.
Yeah, CoreJJ knows he's gonna have the extra dash to be able to get out to double lift after he flashes away. They block a lot of the damage. Meteos will get bottom side Scuttle Crab though. He was already going to path down this way. Not a lot, of time wasted for him in going for that gank. And it was very effective getting the flash off of double lift. Even though it costs Big the flash to start it all off, Nautilus is very happy trading those because then you can continue to fish for hooks later on, and he still has the Ignite available for the all-in.
Quick ward for Smithy to help make sure you can track if the Drake goes down at some point in the early game. Now that 5 minutes is crossed, early Infernal Drakes, certainly something that teams often look for. First recall and teleport comes through from Doublelift, grabs his pickaxe. Sheen done for Arrow, arguably a bit more power right now. And maybe that means the bot lane looks a little bit better for OpTic than it did before. Top lane still 10 CS difference. Mid laner's resetting right now as Crown is starting his recall. Farm should be answered by Jens without much issue. So pretty tight everywhere but top is what the ultimate look is.
Yeah, Impact's Gangplank, definitely one of his most comfortable champions. farming up a storm on that top side. Got his own Sheen. Smithy goes bottom to punish the flashless big.
The knockup, they get the damage, the root, and first blood, and even more damage in towards Zero. What a great gank of the bottom lane of Pillar. Made it so easy.
All right, well, we thought it was a good trade. Nautilus flash for Xayah flash. You know, maybe you can try and get the enemy carry, but Nautilus is so slow without the flash. Really good punish.
Onto the mid lane. Jensen, he flashes to the side, cleanses the stun, and runs away through a Gangplank ultimate. Does survive, but that's double 7 down.
Team Liquid get the first blood conversion. Jensen avoiding death in the mid lane at the cost of both summoners. Maybe that is going to be an area for Meteos to attack, but immediately CoreJJ and Xmithy come up to provide some extra vision. They know that this Orianna without the flash is going to be the main target. Here's another look at the setup. CoreJJ and Doublelift communicate so well with Xmithy. They preemptively put a control ward in the side lane brush. They say, hey, he burned his flash in order to make the play on bottom side. Come right what has been wronged down at the bottom half of the map. And immediately they come down. They get the clean first blood for themselves. They punish the Nautilus flash. And they get the money onto Xmithy. Trundle going to be fairly tanky very early on.
And they made it look so easy, but it was well coordinated. Just walk up, press your buttons, and there was not a way out. Big was checkmated. And it means it's a gold lead for Team Liquid, but only 200 up. A lot of this money has been answered across the map with things like farm and everything else.
It's funny because Trundle is actually one of the most effective champions at ganking Nautilus specifically. The pillar, right, created in front of Nautilus means he can't hook away. Meteos, though, gonna get bit.
A little bit of a pillar right there. It doesn't interrupt the queue mid-flight, though, so Meteos gets full distance and walks out without losing anything too important. Back to the lanes we go.
And again, they know Orianna is going to be a target, so Xmithy comes right back down. Path is out of the fountain to hang around mid lane and make sure. Never mind.
Ooh, a shuffle comes in. Shockwave buys some space. Remember, Jensen has no summoners. And true shot barrage. Arrow lands the bullseye. He gets a free blue buff for his troubles.
What a snipe from the bottom lane there. Arrow fires it right up the lane. Is able to get Jensen off of the big play from Crown. And that is a conversion on the flashless Orianna that we did not expect. A little bit more creative here with Arrow actually getting the money. That is huge for Ezreal. Not only did he get the early Sheen, but this is going to fund the rest of the tier build. Let's take a look at
right
how
about here.
Yeah, he's looking for the opportunity. He
Oh,
knows there's no
nice.
flash. Just such a beautiful, smooth Azir sec right
There's
there.
barrage right then. That was when it was cast. He's like, he's got to be running down here. Pop it. Good aim.
Meanwhile, on the top side, Impact, left on his own island, is very happy up on that island.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pirate. He spends times on islands canonically. So, you know, this is completely normal for him. Impact has his small CS lead. First items coming through. Corrupting Potion, some armor for Dokla. Sheen done for Impact, dodging this stun. Has Smithy behind him in case there is some kind of aggressive play. Meteos has everything available. Dokla timing his autos well against those barrels.
Yeah, I haven't seen Dokla play this lane very aggressively at all, so that, you know, pass at a brush gank there from Xmithy in lane, maybe more of a idea that it would be a counter gank, but I have to say Meteos is on the bottom half of the map, and I think they saw him on the river ward. So no action on the top side as Dokla continues to play defensively on this Aurelia, losing a little bit more CS. And we just have a reset.
More poke coming through from Crown, who is running Comet here just to land. Anytime that Q gets a slow, it's guaranteed to get a little bit more damage across. With some poke Jensen slowly over time. More trading in the top lane as Impact almost gets the auto attack. That would have been like a 200 damage auto there.
Yeah, got the grasp ready. Shove proc. Popping barrels right now. He's working on the tower turret plates as well. Trying to push up a little bit. Crown once again threatening Jensen while he doesn't have the flash. Cleanses back up, but not going to help you much against the Azir. Going to save that one for the Sejuani pass. Meteos is now level 6, so we'll see where he looks to get that gank off. This is one of the biggest points for Sejuani. The ultimate super long range possibility of setting up, you know, for one of these ganks on the bottom half of the map could be huge, but Xmithy finds him again.
Decent damage on the Meteos, holding onto the ultimate unless Aftershock turns on, it looks like. And no all-in regardless, so saves the cooldown smartly so. Fights for bottom scuttle, and that's going to be his unless something a little cheeky happens. Arrow starts the Drake just to make it attack. Xmithy won't even take any damage, so... Oh, he will? Look at that. That is Arrow trying very hard and getting a little bit of a reward for it.
Yeah. Can't drop Dragon aggro by going into the little Pixel Rush. Still gets that spell off. Meanwhile, top side, Impact is at the turret. He forced Dokla back to base. Those turret plates we talked about, he's got 2 of them now for himself.
800 gold lead.
Huge, massive lead here on the top side for Impact. Dokla, though, is opting to save his teleport critically. Possible, you know, bottom half of the map play, maybe. Does cost him that 1 extra minion wave.
We sit at 800 gold separating the squads still. Smithy gets a Scryer's boom to kill some wards. CoreJJ doing similar, and the resets come through. Essence Reaver is completed here for Doublelift. Arrow now starting his tier. With a control ward in the pit, it means Team Liquid can go for a 12-minute Infernal Drake.
Yeah, and they see Nautilus roaming through mid lane right now, so they know that he's on the way. OpTic have something to say about this.
Azir gets here first. Nautilus is already here as well. This could be a little bit difficult for Team Liquid. He's just going to walk forward. It might be a smite fight. Misses the R, though. And will there be an engagement on Smithy? Looking for the damage back and forth. It's down about 1,100. Waiting for the play. Here comes the engage from Trundle. CoreJJ over the top. They're peeling off the Drake, going for the fight instead. Healthbar's getting low. Here comes the TP in for Dokla. And it's going to be the nice spike coming through for the one side. Team looking to pick up 1. A nice shovel pulls in the mid laner. CoreJJ at 1 HP, and Dokla needs an auto attack, and he finally gets it. Will he be traded, though? Damage coming across. Ignite is on. Left side of the fight, though. Look out for Impact. Look at that shockwave. A stopwatch and an arcane shift pull safety, but big. No way out, will die regardless. And Dokla over the wall cannot find the stun. That might have been the kill if it landed, but doesn't find it anyway. Team Liquid now 4-2 in kills with the Drake.
Oh, Team Liquid with a big sweep right here. Getting so much cash as well as the Infernal Drake for later. This also allows Doublelift to push up the bottom wave. He's gonna get more turret damage. He continues to farm the extra wave. Here's another look at how they hold it. So they're waiting for Impact's ultimate cooldown. Look at the cooldown right now on the bottom of your screen. A few seconds. That's why they're holding this Drake for so long. It seems like an eternity, but here it comes. Ultimate comes off cooldown, teleport starts to channel, Xmithie goes in and flashes back for the smite onto Infernal, Doublelift under attack.
He has flash, but no ultimate. He's gonna get slowed. One more auto means the stun. That's gonna land for sure, and they're gonna have the follow through. There's the pull in, and the kill does come. OpTic find their kill into the bottom lane, getting a little bit of the gold back. Still down 1,000 is OpTic.
Meteos able to answer here. They punish Doublelift for a little bit of extra greedy pushing on the bottom side. Stick around a little bit too long. Maybe top side of the map, though. Now strong for Team Liquid.
Third plate goes down, Barrel comes out, and they're gonna look for some damage. No knock up yet on a Dokla, no stun on the other side either. As Guardian pops, they walk away from the turret aggro.
Good job there by Dokla, clearing out the minion waves first, not allowing too much time for Impact and CoreJJ to set that up, making use of the mobility. The whole time, though, Xmithie was on Rift Herald, so they opted for that objective. Ground!
Going for the play, shuffles him back in! Look at the gigantic plays out of the OpTic mid laner, and now the answer for Doublelift finds the root. The follow-through is there, and Crown felled right after. Here comes the charm. CoreJJ setting up, and Big is going to be knocked down as well. A 2-for-1. Honestly, Core deserves that kill for how hard he worked. What a nice turnaround by Liquid.
Yeah, CoreJJ is there, and Doublelift with the AD carry teleport in to secure the 2 kills counter there for Team Liquid. Rift Herald, which they had just taken on the top half of the map, now used to finish off that turret. They will also get the first turret bonus and Meteos in mid.
What a dive in the mid lane. Pillar helps as well. Core doesn't quite drop aggro. Slight mistake there, but I'll still take it. It's a single kill, and that's going to be turret falling. Arrow able to push in the bottom lane. There's actually a lot happening around the map. 5-7 in kills, 1-2 in turrets. It's still Team Liquid ahead as Impact Shepherd's in the Herald to the mid lane. You can see how much more TL has done in the early game.
Well, Freak, the Team Liquid members were talking about how they were disappointed dropping games in the first 2 weeks, regardless of coming back from MSI or not. It looks like they've taken that to heart, and they are angry on the Rift.
Getting a lot done. 12 kills in 15 minutes. Drake is theirs, the 2 turrets as well. Tia looking solid here as we watch that mid lane dive again.
All right, Jensen knows it's coming, so he's playing really far back, but not far enough for Crown. They go for the dive, they get the kill, but immediately the teleport started channeling for Doublelift, and once he arrives, really nice blade caller to set up CoreJJ for the knockup there, landing 2 kills in answer for Jensen's life. And a huge sweep here for Team Liquid. They're really pulling ahead. Remember, this is now Trinity Force on the gangplank for Impact. Luden's Echo completed for Jensen's Orianna, now level 11 with access to the level 2 Shockwave. Those will be huge for the team fights. Team Liquid fully operational and ready to bring together the 5-on-5.
Next Drake spawning in just about a minute right now. Plenty of space to knock that one down before Baron comes in. And Mountain, a good Drake from ahead, not very useful from behind. Team Liquid kind of happy this is the one that spawns. And we'll see as they start setting up control. 3 control wards right by this river on your screen. OpTic temporarily, though, getting this space to knock them down. OpTic shoving in mid, not going for any turret damage just yet, though, as the vision is going away. And now a darkened river, 45 seconds to go until this Mountain Drake comes up. OpTic still pushing forward.
And again,
this as well.
A big difference is the items in inventory, right? People focus a lot on gold, but if you have solo laners with these completed items on the side of Team Liquid, and then you just have the parts here for the OpTic side, they're going to have a lot less power for the immediate team fight that happens around the dragon that you're talking about. They can't get resets off to go complete them. The efficiency of a fully completed item is worth so much.
Yeah, no more time left, and 1,100 gold on both inventories of the OpTic solo laners. So there's even the money at the top of the screen lies to you a bit, as those completions are just not going to come in.
Nice ult from Arrow, though. Does chunk double lift in the back. See if he can lifesteal enough up.
It's decent, actually. Of course, does run Legend Bloodline, as pretty much everyone does nowadays. And they're going to find a slow on a Crown. Jumps to the wall, though. He's going to stay safe. Still has ult, but no flash for that Azir. Now pushing into the river. Looks like Team Liquid found the opening they needed with pushing Crown down to the Raptors, that they can push into this bottom river and stay poised. Doka can come through. We can look at OpTic's point of view. They know where TL are, but very little vision on what's exactly happening.
So Meteos the Sejuani has a difficult task. He wants to get his ult past the Impact and past Jensen. Both of them have cleanses, basically.
That's the flash out of Impact. It's going to be harder for Gateway to team fight, but now around the back comes CoreJJ. Shovel back in to the backline of the team. TGP ult over the top as well. There's a stun and a trundle. Very, very tanky, but they can burn him down. A flash. 2 more autos, but he can't quite die. Smithy, immortal down here and able to walk right back out as OpTic can go right back in for this one. Look at this Mountain Drake. Smithy flashless can try to smite, but he might die for it.
Oh, it's going to be risky, but they're sticking around.
As ult tags on a 3, TL re-aggro the Drake, and Crown shoves to the mid lane. This is a better health bar situation for OpTic. This should be theirs, but Meteos doesn't have smite yet. He used it in the fight, has to wait for that cooldown. Still 8 seconds to go, so they keep it aggroed. OpTic gonna push the mid lane. Now they'll re-aggress. This Drake will be theirs. The team fight is won position-wise. They get the Drake, they get the turret as well, and the gold lead shrinks down to just 2,000. Good play by OpTic from an item disadvantage. They've made that happen.
Yeah, huge heads-up play here from OpTic. After they see they have the health advantage, they get 2 objectives for 1. Crown immediately rotates towards the mid lane, gets the entire mid lane turret, plus the Mountain Dragon for themselves. Really nice team fight. Team Liquid tried to execute the same strategy they did at the last Dragon, where Smithy goes in on the front line, then goes back and flashes back to the Dragon to finish it off. However, he got stunned up. He could not flash back to the Dragon for the smite, so Team Liquid had to give up on that, as well as give up on the team fight, him sustaining too much damage. Really big turnaround for OpTic. They're still behind in gold, but now they can go back, they can spend that money we were talking about, try and get some item combinations to actually come to fruition here and increase the power for the next fight.
Well, now it's time for the top river, as Baron is spawning soon. We just saw the Scuttle Crab up there was taken by Smithy already, so he's giving them vision for some time as the resets come through and we look for items to be completed. We're on 2,000 gold in Doka's inventory. He has yet to reset. A little bit to go till he has Triforce. I think it's about 300-400 more till he can put that item in his inventory.
Yeah. Big thing for Crown, though. He finished his Nasher's Tooth. That is big for Azir. A lot of attack speed allows you to put DPS out in the team fight if you have the stable front line. And Azir with his own ultimate plus Meteos on the Sejuani should be able to create that time for him.
Meteos looking top side, pulls the wave around, wants
to
make space for double. Cannot land the ultimate though, but they've still got a potential dive. Not going for it as a squad from Team Liquid is coming up.
Yeah, you walk away in shame after that one.
Yeah.
A little early on the ultimate there. Double just sidesteps it. Calm and cool there.
Whoa, the tower dive, the flash, and the slow might just be enough. No impact's going to live. A 1v1 tower dive. Team Liquid coming out ahead. Item conclusion finally comes in for Dokla, and now round 2 as Crown wants in and will avenge his teammate.
Oh, Crown shuts down Impact just as he was styling on Dokla. Gangplank tower diving the Aurelia freak. What has become of this game? Impact is just destroying OpTic right now. Crown, though, is their hope. Doublelift now finds Arrow, gonna chase him off, but Arrow, wise use of the Arcane Shift to get away from the possible Blade Caller there. Doesn't get rooted in place. I don't know, though. It's gonna be difficult now for OpTic to deal with Impact split push. Dokla clearly cannot answer this Gangplank, and nobody else is set up for a 1v1. So that's their only option. You can see him 50% health. They both go for the barrel. Dokla loses.
Yep.
And it's literally Impact getting that auto attack off first for the barrel explosion that turns the 1v1. As quick as it comes, though, Crown's able to swoop in and change the end of that story.
So a nice pickup for him. As we mentioned, Dokla had not recalled yet, so it was a 2,500 gold item difference based on value and inventory and total gold earned. Half HP, a level lead, and that's what you need, and then it comes through. Sterak's Gauge now completed for Impact makes him pretty durable against Dokla, but that is now a Triforce done for Aurelia. Very big power spike. Now a fight here in the top jungle. The pillar buys some space. Meteos still running forward. He'll find that stun if he can get one more shot. Might not be enough of a setup as Aurelia comes in and out. Corday is here to defend again. Interrupted every time. Big lands every skill shot. And a 1-for-0. Look at the swoop. Look at the second kill. Absolutely beautiful by OpTic.
OpTic making huge plays on the top side of the map. They know they can't answer the 1v1, so they go for the 5v4. They get 2 kills chasing down Xmithy. Impact going to use that time to take down the bottom turret. They're still pushing, and OpTic have to start up this Baron. Teleport comes in. They're going to fight it.
They're going to have to try. It'll be a 5v3 overall. Bit of low health bars, but the jungler is dead. As long as Baron gets low, this should be a formality, but TL can find some damage. Watch out for the shockwave. There's the spike picked up. Will there be a re-engage? The anchor comes in. Big sets up for Impact. Over the top goes Dokla, but it's actually not even a kill coming through. It's TL who finds the frag, and out they go.
Dokla gets a little bit too hyphy off the team's success there. Steps forward, loses one of the Baron buffs, but it's still such a big win for OpTic. Now they've got Baron buff. They can reset. I wonder if Team Liquid will try and burn this dragon down. 14 seconds seems like a long time, so I don't think they might be worried about OpTic getting the Dokla does not have teleport. They can do it.
And it looks like it's going to be an easy one for them as they walk their way down from the jungle. Very far away is OpTic. A little surprised to see that 5v3 fight did not go OpTic's way, but it was turned around. We watched this jungle fight once again.
Yeah, really good chase down here from Meteos. And I believe it's Meteos' ultimate, by the way, that stops CoreJJ. They go for the re-engage. CoreJJ jumps in, and Meteos nails them right there with the Sejuani ult. He might have even been aiming it at Xmithy, but CoreJJ jumps in front right at the perfect timing for OpTic. Then, as you mentioned, they're able to secure the Baron easily with the smite advantage. Big goes for the flash. They get the root on Impact, but Dokla dives a little bit too forward, and Doublelift still had the ultimate on Saya. That's why they were able to avoid any sort of real casualties on the side of Team Liquid in the chase down. Now it's all about OpTic pushing with Baron buff. See if they can actually get this to secondary turret and convert it into gold. This is bringing them right back on par with the Team Liquid war chest. And that's definitely saying something with how the early game went. I have to say also Crown coming in at the end of that last one, another very good Azir combination to get the extra kill for themselves. Got to watch his positioning. Currently right now, OpTic are split on the map. They were going for a possible 1-3-1, but now Crown heading back down to take the blue buff with the rest of the team, and it looks like they're gonna reset, not overextend, and allow Team Liquid back in.
1,000 gold, but still a minute on this Baron buff. I would say on average, I'd expect 2 turrets per Baron to be picked up for a team, and that would tie the gold if it happened.
All right, they're going 4-1 right now. Crown has joined the rest of the team. He has Flash as well. Impact flanking around behind, but he's seen on a ward.
Gotta watch for this play. Again, the shovel comes in. Look at an Impact, and he is without Flash. They have the damage, though. It's CoreJJ separates the backline. Impact will drop. Zonya's Hourglass pop by Meteos. They can re-engage on him, though, but he flashes to safety. Now Dokla in the front, finds the first ultimate, but watch out for the re-engage. It's a 1-for-1 as they have now lost their own jungler. Double up low in health, has to jump over the wall. Corjay follows. They're going to stay alive, but Team Liquid are routed some bit as they run away from this fight.
Yeah, OpTic owns Summoner's Rift right now. They've got the Baron buff. They can continue pushing with those big chunks onto the back line. Crown's got some nifty moves over the wall here. Now you see me, now you don't. He's going back mid lane.
Could have forced a flash if something cheeky enough did happen, but TL already running back and wave clearing. Mid lane 2-2 has already fallen, though, and Inhibitor turret itself is under fire. Some damage towards Doublelift, actually, as he tries to wave clear. And he's at like 12% right now, so Xmithie can try, and Crown can take some damage, but the damage threats are so low, it'd be hard for TL to get anything done. They'll lose the one turret, but Baron buff ends, and the turret score only 4-4. But with the kill picked up, OpTic have tied the goal.
Yeah, OpTic come back with a huge surge here. Crown playing out of his mind. Now level 16, by far highest level in the game. He sees Impact and he makes the call. We are going for this. He sections him off right into the Sejuani here. Arrow jumps over the wall for the damage. Corjay can't quite get the knockup onto Arrow, and during that time, Impact goes down while Meteos still has the stopwatch. Dokla does get the ultimate, had already missed the stun onto Doublelift, and then Doublelift uses the Xayah ultimate to jump up and avoid any possible repercussions there. There's going to be no further kills, but it was the mid turret still going down for OpTic, and now they are fully operational. This is here, 3 items now for Crown. Huge DPS threat.
Speaking of items coming online, though, Doublelift just finished Infinity Edge, his 3rd item. That is gigantic as well, and he does still have a front line to create space for him. Double Flap Clen plus the Banshee Veil also completed for Jensen. This could go either way, I do think, but we have OpTic still the ones playing aggressor. In a top lane tier 2, Dokla afraid of what Doublelift could do to him with Corjay right behind. Will not go for any turret shots just yet. Next Drake's in a minute. Baron right behind that as well.
Look at a mini-map too. Impact is made his way all the way to the Inhibitor turret. You got to do something about that quick, OpTic. Looks like they're just going for recalls. Still, Impact is a monster for Team Liquid. He deals with that turret like it's nothing. Inhibitor is now exposed on the side of OpTic. When they were pushing up all the way to TL's base, Impact's able to steal something back.
Okay, 1,000 gold now. Team Liquid thanks to the bot lane push. Once again, we are onto the map with 25 seconds till the Drake spawns, and this one is a scuttle pickup for the OpTic side. Playing Team Liquid tight in the mid to late game, almost 30 minutes in now as Meteos is behind. He's got a flank. There's a possibility in here. Look at the summoner spells. There's 3 flashes missing for Team Liquid's side. OpTic only missing the one onto Arrow, and he tends to be safe on that Ezreal anyway.
He's playing a little risky right now on the front lines. Does get their last hit onto the barrel, so no damage there. That's what TL are looking for. Impact trying to get some big barrel chains over the top of this Raptor pit.
No damage this time around as Team Liquid will wave clear, but an aggressive Azir turret from Crown kind of creates some extra space. Q's not going to land just yet. Impact into the orange to keep topped off. And more poke towards Xmithie. Arrow still easily able to play the poke game. No Warmog to the Trundle. He'll rely on dying minions to heal back up. That's very strong, so that should be fine. As your turret goes down, and the shove continues in the mid lane.
All right, so right now, all members mid, they're looking for the engage. Crown!
Big damage. Xmithie pops his own ult, though he's going to be very tanky. They should actually disengage this until Subjugate ends. King's Tribute giving so many stats to this Trundle. It finally times out. Meteos is a real champion again.
All right, heals back up with his own Warmogs. I thought Impact was going to chase down Crown on the outside. He slips over the edge of the wall. So everybody's eyes are on. Bottom lane minions have pushed up to Team Liquid's tower right now. This might be a transition for OpTic over to Baron. They have 2 existing control wards already preparing this. And remember, OpTic are the ones with the Mountain Drake. Adds a little bit more pressure onto Team Liquid as far as how quickly they can take it. There is a ward in the back of the pit that sees it. An Arrow, no flash.
Down to half health makes it risky as well. He does have Ruin King, does have ways to heal, but Corjay gonna find the opening, gets the knockup, lots of damage, big flashes, gets the Blast Cone, does stay alive as blue buff goes over to Crown, but that is one summoner down. A nice engage by Core, only burning short cooldowns.
Very tense situation here. In the end, Team Liquid are able to chase OpTic back through their own jungle. push out the minions on both sides. There might be a retreat here. I think Double Lift could deal with this dragon. He doesn't have to go for a reset quite yet, and he's going to be able to burn it down himself.
Pick up their second cloud now for Team Liquid to go with the Infernal. They're the ones with combat breaks, but there's the teleport. In the face of the ward, OpTic trying to rush down Baron. You look at her around though. Smithy does have flash, as does the entire rest of his team, as they put damage on towards Big. No way out for him. The flash to the wall. What a smite steal for Smithy. He might lose his life, he might not. It is 2 kills picked up, 1 traded back. Inside the pit is Impact. Pretty healthy for now, but taking so much damage, and it will be 3 kills as payment for the Baron steal.
Yeah, and it might be another one. Big looks for the hook. Not gonna find the hook. Does find a lot of damage there, as Jensen and Double Lift, the 2 carries, are the ones left up for Team Liquid. So they can definitely still fight their way out of this. Crown, though, immediately heading bottom. See if Jensen finds it.
Damage on a Jensen's a lot of damage on a Jensen. The Q forward. Oh, he flashes, but he's not in range anymore, and he can't get away. He's gonna fall. The 2v1 kill. Team Liquid knock down the opposing mid laner.
Oh my goodness, they find the kill on the Crown all by himself, making the call to rotate bottom. Let's take another look at it. Smithy does it again. First they turn onto Big. Smithy has his eyes still on the Baron though. He flashes in just in time. They get the big burst of damage. Let's see exactly the mouse click here. He's gonna look at the Baron health.
And then dies.
Yeah, that is a loud,
yeah, he's got his game sounds up.
A lot of spells going on. You can get those audio cues for the big burst damage on Baron, maybe.
Yeah, unfortunate Big did not get the ult down in time, as 650 was stunned after he flashed over the pit, so the disruption wasn't quite there, and that was the opening that Team Liquid used. They've picked up a couple of kills, and now several turrets going to go their way. This could be easily taking an inhibitor, and maybe more, sitting on a 4,000 gold lead almost, with their eyes on the prize.
And that prize is inside OpTic space. Team Liquid looking to go 2-2 this week. Start a winning streak for themselves. Splitting into the 4-1 right now. Impact should deal with the secondary turret on top side shortly. Only requires a couple more autos. And that is immediate gold here picked up for Team Liquid. 3.5K on the Baron power play already.
There's sure going to be more out of this one, as Impact is safely split pushing in the side lane. Look at the level lead, actually. 17, okay, now tied. Goes back to the same level as him, but it's a fairly rich gangplank. Unfortunately has Sterix and Hex Drinker. Dislike that one, but we'll move on.
Yeah,
they
they're
don't
both,
stack.
For people that maybe new to the game, they're both classified as lifeline passives, so they can't both proc at the same time.
It is still attack damage and MR. There's a case to be made for it being all right, but it's probably not this one. And now we're going to have the play towards this bot side. As this River is under attack, and Media's going to be charmed and knocked up, and Emperor's Divide does nothing to save him. Double Lift finds his kill, dominating now, and the play is towards Crown. Flashless, but might have a way over the wall. Takes a crit, does stay alive, but still running away as Smithy leads the charge in. Big tries to get out of the way. Arrow trying to run as well. Nice stun for Dokla, buys some space, but there is more to be done. The root comes in for Double Lift, chases him down with a QSS for movement speed, and knocks down the inhibitor turret as well. And with 2 kills, TL can push right in for the rest of the base.
Yep, Nexus turrets don't stand a chance. Baron, Buff, and 5 members of Team Liquid are coming for that win.
They're going for it right now, 5v3, and it's going to be a miracle for OpTic to stop them. 1 turret goes down, the second one, there's only a minion left up to keep the siege going, so they have to buy a little bit more space and wait for wave number 2. Meteos respawns in 3 seconds, then it's a 4v5. Health was getting a little bit low, huge damage on the Crown, does jump away, but TL could choose to still siege. They've run out of minions though, and have to sit and wait and grab the inhibitor, and then walk right back out. So OpTic will live, but TL are very far ahead.
They pinged a couple of these possible wards for teleports, but there's no teleports except for Arrow, so I don't think it's gonna happen here. Team Liquid should be able to walk out and reset cleanly. OpTic want to try and get something, but I think they're just gonna have to take those 2 inhibitor losses and farm out the minions, wait for a possible team fight victory, maybe set up some control wards in some of these brush in their own side of the map, but it's gonna be very difficult now to mount that counterattack.
It's gonna be difficult. The next major objective spawns in 20 seconds with the Elder Dragon. Got to expect Team Liquid's its bot side. I don't know if Impact knows he was seen, but able to walk away. Knows he has oranges, so there's no reason to commit Sejuani ultimate. That would be a bad cooldown trade. And let him walk out.
All right, this might be their only play. OpTic, no, they don't have a lot of time with those inhibitors down.
Jokla takes massive damage at the very start of it all. Crown almost dead as well, and here comes J over the back. It's a double kill for Double. The stun's gonna mean almost nothing. Big is gonna be run down. Arrow can find a bit of damage, but not enough to stop Team Liquid. One more hit will kill Big, and Arrow about to be slow chain. Not gonna find the stop on Smithy. Instead, the pillar comes up, builds a lot of space. He's in the front. Shockwave pulls them back in. Arrow, he's gonna get barreled down, and it's gonna be Medius over the pit, but he is certainly not gonna do anything to stop this scene.
Save the KDA!
The KDA, he will try his best to save it regardless. It is Team Liquid pushing in for the win. They will not be stopped. They've got the minions and a 4-2 record, a 2-0 week. Team Liquid will knock down OpTic.
Well, let's see if they also knock down Medios. He's still on the run.
He's gonna flash. He's gonna save the KDA. The Nexus falls. Team Liquid win.
Team Liquid with their first 2-0 week of the split. Coming here in week 3. OpTic, another strong performance, but not a victory here. Some very difficult opponents for them this week. Coming close, but being toppled from that top spot once they have to go up against Spring Split's playoff teams.
That's true. They did manage to beat FlyQuest a little bit ago, but it was Cloud9 and Team Liquid, the OpTic opponents this week, both of whom were the better teams. TL shaping up. First 2 weeks a bit rocky. This time, at least they took care of the win. I still want to figure out exactly what level of team OpTic is. I wouldn't ever consider losing to Cloud9 and Team Liquid signs that you're a bad team, but there's just more games to play, really. It comes down to, how good can you feel about an OpTic win? If you think they're still the Spring Split 7th place OpTic, you're like, we played them close, it's not exciting. But if they are a good team, C9 and TL are better, but they can beat the rest of the squads, then you're happy about beating OpTic.
They are a good team.
They are a good team. Yeah.
They're definitely a playoff team this time around. They are not the #1 team.
Nope.
As losing to Cloud9 and Team Liquid. But as we said, still strong performances at times. I think that probably the biggest thing that was lacking there was a lot of the weak side play from Dokla. A couple of these things on the Aurelia need to be shored up, but a lot of pieces came together. Crown, the one time getting caught after that Baron rotating over towards bottom was probably his only mistake. Other than that, he was quite good, and Medios continues to perform from the jungle. I have to say, though, Team Liquid, 2-0 week, they're back on track.
Yeah, want to see what that game looks like without that Baron steal, but it happened, Smithy. Part of the reason he's so good is he gets those smites so often. Now for more on that victory, Riv is standing by with Team Liquid's mid laner.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Great cast on the day. I am joined by Liquid's Jensen after their victory over OpTic. Jensen, probably a little more touch and go than the team would have liked. Why are we still seeing some uncharacteristic results in the mid-game team fights where TL would usually shine?
I don't know. It seems like we're just making a lot of mistakes. We're getting picked off a lot, and it usually just ends up in them getting Baron randomly. Like it happened yesterday and today where we just gave a Baron for free just because we got caught. And then, I don't know, it seems like we're just still not fully there where we should be, and we still have some work to do, but I think we're getting there. So we got a 2-0 week, so it was all right.
Can we expect more of the same, or does TL feel like they haven't sorted things out just yet? What are the fans expecting from TL coming up?
Well, I think right now we're probably playing like at a 70%, so there's definitely still work to be done, and I'm not really happy with the way we're playing, even though we went 2-0 this week. We're still playing really sloppy, so I think we have high expectations for ourselves, and I think the fans should too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jensen. Congratulations on the win. Best of luck moving forward for Liquid, and we're going to throw back to the State Farm analyst desk to break that victory down.
Thank you very much, Riv. The first of our battles between teams in first and fourth. It will be Team Liquid, our defending champions, who come out on top. As Riv and Jensen mentioned, it didn't come as easily as they may have wanted, but it is an improvement over their first couple weeks of performance in closing out the weekend 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good week overall for them as far as the record goes, but yeah, they want to be improving. I do think kind of Riv nailed it with talking about, mid-game team fighting. That has been an area where TL has been disappointing. Even in some of their losses earlier, they're in positions where if this was spring, you'd say, oh, they win 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's why a couple of these drafts I kind of like in the Team Liquid. You saw that kind of pioneered with CLG when they were taking this hyper-scaling Mage and Victor. Similar thing here, it feels like, for OpTic, where they have the Azir, but the problem was they paired it with Aurelia, Sejuani in the top lane that didn't get any help, where it's like that's where all the early plays should be going to, but they all went mid, and even though they sort of worked, eventually TL caught on and started punishing them.
Right, we had been raising questions about what happens when Poppy gets removed from the table. Well, this time around, Poppy wasn't even banned out for OpTic, but they still reached for that Aurelia, and you can see there, statistically, it was an unsupported Aurelia in the lane phase.
I mean, this has always been my concern with OpTic, and it's kind of disappointing to feel like over these last 2 games, they're going back to it. I think it makes more sense with the GP yesterday to leave that on an island, but this is something they did a lot in spring where they'd go with the Yorick or the Jace or something that demands attention and wants to be playing aggressively. As Aurelia into GP, if you're just trying to farm, GP just cues you on cooldown and eventually gets an edge, you get pushed out of lane. You need to play aggressively and to be diving in looking for all-ins to be able to win that matchup, and generally, unless, you're going to have your jungler there, it's very risky to do.
And it's one of those things where great players will say, like, okay, well, I can't just sit there and get Q-poked by a GP, so even without my jungler, I need to take the risk. The Shy will probably fight there. Wunder will probably fight there. Dokla doesn't and gets pushed out of laning phase, and this is where it's like, they didn't even have to ban the Poppy because they just say, we'll take GP. If you pick Poppy, great. I'm GP into Poppy. Feels fantastic.
Right.
You pick Aurelia, you're not going to punish me because your team's not going to play safe. So they're starting to get into these kind of draft conundrums where it's like, how do you fix what's going on top lane? Or do you just sack it and say, take the Poppy and the GP and I'll be a team fighter for the Azir?
Got called a little bit there. But as well, we've had questions for OpTic this split in terms of how good are they actually, right? They were sitting undefeated at 4-0, but relatively untested, and now they dropped to 4-2, so coming back down to earth a little bit. But I do want to identify some areas of improvement for them and their ability to challenge some of these top teams, even if they're not taking the wins just yet.
Yeah, I mean, as far as how good are they, I would say pretty damn good. I think that they are looking like a playoff team. I think that they were really tiny differences away from actually winning this game in TL, and we'll get into some of that in the replay.
We will. First, let's take a look at how they get some of those advantages in the mid-game against a TL that still is slipping up occasionally.
Yeah, they have the Aurelia grouped up, which is something that they do quite well, and so they know the GP's down in the bot lane. Even if he wants to start TPing to join in, the GP will take 4 seconds to get there. GP as a flank is not that great. They have a lot of pink wards as well, so that their backside should be relatively covered if it does start coming in. So as soon as they hit Rakan with that ultimate from Meteos, they say, let's just keep going, and they find TL out of position. And this is something that has happened time and time again now against TL, where they throw mid-game leads, which we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, and I mean, even if there was some ward that snuck in behind them, GP on a TP flank is very, very dangerous for the GP oftentimes. It's pretty risky to come in from behind like that on kind of solo missions. So, it was a great pick by OpTic, and this is one thing that I think, is nice to see, is that they are drafting multiple forms of hard engage. They are finding ways to make things happen even from a deficit against the back-to-back-to-back champions.
Right, from behind, that was the play that netted them a Baron and some amount of control within the game, but it would take another Baron attempt if they wanted to close it out. This time around, though, Smithy coming in big with the steal.
The critical thing here, they actually had 3 pinks in their inventory and a sweeper up, and this ward was never taken out. Yes, that is great from Smithy. It was a well-timed steal. That is impressive, but he should not have had vision on the Baron. Instead, he had perfect information. They had the tools in inventory to deny the vision on that, and I think they kind of baited themselves because they actually TP'd into that Baron pit using a pink that was just outside of the pit, so it was not actually properly placed. And that allowed that ward in the back of the pit to get not spotted, and I think that gave them that false sense of security. And that alone, I think OpTic could win the game if they are the ones who took that Baron.
Yeah, against these excellent playoff opponents yesterday and today, they are so close to walking away with victories, despite our complaints about some of their drafts and some of their decision-making. They are legitimately a really good team in the mid to late game for vision control setup, finding picks, and sometimes when they have the split push tools, actually split pushing with crowns. So they're a very, very good team with some concerns. So definitely looking like a playoff contender.
Yeah, fundamentals a lot of times are actually the things that separate the mid-tier teams from the top-tier teams, the consistency in those fundamentals. For Team Liquid, though, it is very much that ramp-up that we had been expecting, at least in terms of results. Again, I think a lot of people could turn a critical eye to the team and say, well, they're not at MSI or finals form of Spring Split. But that also isn't the expectation just yet.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to have to be depending on a team's mistake, right? You know, you could watch this game and say, oh, well, if OpTic just pressed the sweeper, then you maybe lose that game, maybe you don't get the Baron. And who's to say how it would have played out, but they want to be dominating. They want to be looking extremely clean in these games, and thus far they've been at least competitive.
It was a tight game, but TL snags game 1. Game 2 has Echo Fox and 100 Thieves challenging each other. If Rick Fox's quest through Iron has you aching to show your support, pick up an Echo Fox Team Pass in store today. Net yourself some team-branded in-game swag in any of the team's colors, and show off your fandom every game you play. Meet us back here for game 2 after this.
A shuffle comes in, Shockwave buys some space. Remember, Jensen has no summoners, and True Shot Barrage!
Sorry, guys, I need help.
Yeah,
go down. If he goes down, if he goes down.
Yeah, I'm coming if she goes down.
Oh, she
here.
Yeah, he goes down.
Nice,
Ooh,
nice, good job.
Nice, good job.
Going for the play, shuffles him back in! Look at the gigantic plays out of the OpTic mid laner, and now the answer for double. It finds the root, the follow-through is there.
I'm behind. Careful. I'm walking. Walking. Ooh. Turn. Be careful. Nice. Back out.
Hey, one here. I'm looking in spite.
I'm shielding you.
Almost dead as well, and here comes JJ over the back. It's a double kill for double. The stun's gonna mean almost nothing. Big is gonna be run down.
Congrats, Kim. You got your own car with your own insurance.
No more driving that old hand-me-down.
Did you trade it in?
My parents handed it down to my little brother.
You ready?
Yeah.
Surprise!
No.
Not Beige Betty. You guys can't do this to me. Seriously?
My car is like a rite of passage.
How do you expect me to drive this?
Just turn the key and yeah, it's just
Some of this.
it's automatic, dual cup holders.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
I love this shit. Like, of course it should be here, like every single time. Like, you should be way faster, but like, it's good to see.
This should have been there for a long time. I want to see Core JJ's play.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, it's dead already.
Yeah. If you want to go like crazy, you can do like 4 at once, which is like, you know, it's a lot.
For only $15, guys.
See, you get it.